Corey Bailey, who was the closer at AAA, the Fresno Grizzlies this year, one of those September 1st call-ups. And he has a tough job at hand as he's trying to work the Jim Leyritz. But I assume, and you assume, this is his one batter if he gets him out, because the pitcher spot is due up in the next inning.
Pitcher spot is due up second in the fifth. Giants are down 4, and Bailey's in there to get one hitter, Jimmy Leyritz. And that's not a good sign right there. The one hit he's given up is a long one.
Wow. That's not a good sign either, as the count is immediately 2-0, and now Leyritz can try to sit on a dead red.
And he will key out of the ball game. And Jimmy's got pretty good power to right center as well. So if you try to go away and the ball's up, he can drill it in the gap.
Strike, says the home plate umpire, Sam Holbrook.
Well, Jimmy Leyritz looked like he was looking for a ball away out over the plate, and that ball ran back in a little bit.
Inside low, 3-1. There's nowhere to go with it. Thought there was somewhere to go with it, but it is foul.
Well, that's what you can do when you got the count in your favor as a hitter. 3-1. You can look location and cheat a little bit, and he gets a fastball middle in, opens up the hips, gets the hands through, but opened them up a little too soon and hooked that ball foul.
Oh, Leyritz was sure it was inside for a ball. He was already to first base, and Corey Bailey got the call. Woo! That was tight. But remember, he's been giving the pitchers the inside before. The Giants got it when they needed it. 4-0.
You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want.
And so it might have caught the inside corner. And Jimmy Leyritz, of course, thinks it's ball 4 and slams that bat down. Under normal circumstances, you'd see him gone right now slamming the bat. And that's what Sam Holbrook is talking to him about. So Leyritz has to be very careful now being behind the plate with how he reacts and what he says this inning.
Well, and you mentioned Holbrook is not afraid to ring someone up, is he?
Mark McGwire last week. Mark was unhappy about a call on a strike.
America was unhappy about Holbrook's call. They both handle it with class, we should add. Now Leyritz is behind the plate. What did they all right now?
One thing you don't do right now, but for Jimmy Leyritz, he's got to keep his eyes on the pitcher. If he has anything to say at all, it's got to be as he's looking at Hitchcock. Cannot turn around. Really his best right now. You got a 4-0 lead. You're in a pennant race. Just keep your mouth shut.
I will say this.
Spot.
We've seen Holbrook give the inside strike all night.
Yeah.
He's been consistent. Remember, there were a couple of Joe Carter. That one looked down and into Brian Johnson. So swung on a miss, and he may get to first base. Leyritz chased it down. Oh, wait a minute. Safe. Juggling the ball. Now, how about this? The Giants. And here comes Bochy saying, what do you mean I juggled it? The Joyner. Strike 3 out of the Mickey Owens School of Baseball.
Maybe not as dramatic in this situation, but could open the door for the Giants to get back in the game. The good split finger by Sterling Hitchcock, and Leyritz perhaps thinking about the last at bat where he struck out, didn't get down to block it, went through his legs. He short hopped Joyner on the throw to first, and first base umpire Rich Riker says that Wally Joyner bobbled the ball, so we got a Giant base runner.
I mean, Bruce is not vociferous, but let's see. Here's it is. It's strike 3.
Leyritz comes up on it, goes off the tip of the glove, and not quite to the backstop. Little short hop to Joyner. Might have been the right call.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yep, I think it was the right call by Rich Riker. Didn't quite. Well, tough to tell on that angle.
He wanted to say, safe.
He had a better angle than we did, but nonetheless, it's a Giant base runner.
A runner that they will take, as Chris Jones is now the pinch hitter for the pitcher Bailey. Chris Jones, who frankly has been a disappointment.
He might have caught that ball. I'm not sure if he trapped it against his body or caught it, or Wally caught it in the heel of his glove.
We didn't really see from
and
that
then
angle.
brought the glove to the body, and it made it look like he bobbled it. He might have caught that cleanly. It doesn't matter. It's immaterial because Rich Riker says he didn't. Wally's got great hands. Talked about his offense, hit 305, but he's a great defensive first baseman. Great at picking balls in the dirt, and he might have picked that cleanly.
So it goes as the 5th strikeout for Hitchcock, but an error on Leyritz. And here's Chris Jones looking at ball 1. Jones a little bit below the Mendoza line. A big bat. They're looking for lots of pop from him. That really didn't work, and hence the trade for Joe Carter. I mean, if Jones had really come through earlier in the year, Carter might not be on the Giants.
Well, that's absolutely right. And, you know, with Sterling Hitchcock on the mound with his sinker and splitter and cut fastball, he has not allowed one batter to hit a ball out of the infield yet in the air.
Jones,
there it is,
to right field, but it's straight away right field, and Ruben Rivera is there. Johnson back to first. There's one out. The Giants have just one hit tonight, and that was the leadoff man of the ball game, Stan Javier, with a base hit to left. Danny Darwin continues to throw, so I mean he's like having a starter. This Danny could come in and work, well, as much as he needs to until the pitcher comes up again. I mean that basically is going to be his role. Dusty will not use him. He'll use him as there's the luxury of having a guy who's a starter.
Well,
a true middle relief guy.
And with September call-ups, you've got expanded rosters right now, remember. So as far as changing pitchers, there's plenty of guys in the bullpen. There's plenty of guys on the bench to pinch hit. So I'm not really worried about how many innings Danny Darwin can give you. Just put up some zeros when you're out there.
Stan Javier, named, of course, after his dad's longtime teammate, Stan Musial. His dad, Julian Javier, played in the infield with those Cardinals. I'm thinking of Stan because of Stan Musial. We saw him pictured off in these last couple of days in St. Louis, and if that isn't baseball, just seeing Stan Musial at a ballpark, what is?
Got a chance to meet him in the elevator. Never met him before.
Did you? I met him at Cooperstown once or twice.
Boy, what a hitter.
A nice man. And a great hitter. A great ambassador for baseball. Javier, grounder, backhanded by Gomez. He makes the throw to get Johnson at second base. Gomez has played a very steady shortstop tonight.
3 times going to his right so far tonight that he's made plays like that. Twice to second base, 1 across the diamond to first base. There's a nice play on an off-speed pitch again. Javier gets out, front foot, rolls over it to the left side. Gomez picks it and on the run, all in one motion, turns and throws. And a nice stretch from Andy Sheets at second base to get the force. Acted like a first baseman. No chance for 2, and that's exactly what you have to do as a second baseman. Nice stretch. Well, that's just great location. 90 fastball on the knees, on the black of the plate, outside corner.
Dangerous Ellis Burks with Barry Bonds on deck. The Padres in control thus far, 4-0. Sterling Hitchcock in control. Bounces one. And Leyritz this time certainly makes the play on.
Another split-fingered fastball from Sterling Hitchcock. And Jimmy gets down still a little bit late, but he got a better hop. It hit him in the chest protector. You want to get those feet out from underneath you so the knees drop straight down, and Jimmy comes up first and then goes down. And that's what enabled that last ball. Brian Johnson to go to the backstop.
Here goes the base runner Javier. Leyritz with the throw. It's not in time, so that was also off the pitcher, as we've seen all night. So for Stanley, stolen base number 20.
Well, the key off a left-handed pitcher is to go first move as soon as he lifts that right leg, and that's what Stan Javier does. You pick your spots. With a right-handed pitcher, it's a little tougher. You watch the heel, you watch his feet. Left-handed pitcher, as soon as you call it first move off the lefty, as soon as he lifts the leg, you don't wait till he's in the peak of his delivery. You just go as soon as that right leg starts to move. That's when you take off.
3-1 the count now to Burks, and the last thing that Hitchcock wants to do is put Burks on, have 2 on for Barry Bonds. The game could change in a hurry. 2 out. Trying to get out of it. Oh. Well, if nothing else, Holbrook has been consistent.
Yes.
I thought that was ball 4, but I'm sitting way up here. He's called that pitch all night, Kevin.
Similar pitch, 3-1. Little cut to it. Jimmy
Same pitch.
Boxes it, but the ball was a strike.
Yes, it was. Good call. 3-2 now to Ellis Burks with Bonds on deck. 4-0 San Diego here in the 5th. There's ball 4, so Burks aboard and Bonds up.
3-2 split-fingered fastball. Try to get Burks to chase it. That's what he chased last time up. This time, Ellis doesn't bite on it.
Barry is 0 for 1 with a walk. He fouled out to the catcher in the first inning.
Now, Barry lifetime coming into this game has got 2 home runs off of Sterling Hitchcock. He was 3 for 8. He's 0 for 1 today. 3 for 9. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs.
3 for 8. Well, there it is. There's what we talked about. Only Bobby Bonds, Willie Mays, Andre Dawson had 401 category, 300 in the other. But Barry is the first to have 400 homers and 400 steals. He will take homer number 407 right now.
Ooh, Leyrit's not happy with that call. Saw Jimmy drop the head down, but he's got to keep his eyes straight ahead, as I mentioned. Watch this pitch. Sam Holbrook calls his ball high because it had the plate. Watch Leyrit's. Watch the head go down. Right there.
You know that look.
Don't turn around, Jimmy, or you're gone. He knows it.
Outside, 2-0.
Well, watch now. See where the umpire's head is with the left-handed hitter. It's in between Bonds and the catcher. So while this ball was on the other side of the plate, to a right-hander it might have been a strike. To a left-hander, it's a ball. See where his head is? Tougher to see out there. When the right-hander's up, the umpire's head's between the hitter and the catcher.
Look at Stu. He's saying, what does he have to do to throw a strike? Bonds down the left field side. It's curving foul in the corner by the bullpen.
It's a 91 fastball in the outside corner. Barry goes with it. A little bit off the end of the bat. And hits it foul. There was a strike. But hitting left-handed, what it does, it takes away Hitchcock's best pitch, which has been his split-finger fastball. And that's why right-handers have more trouble against Hitchcock than lefties.
Driven to the gap in right center field. This should score 2. Javier Hall. Burks being waved home. Bonds is in with a double. It's a 4-2 game.
No split fingers to the left-handed hitter, which I disagree with. I like throwing lefty-to-lefty splits. But they're afraid sometimes because it comes down and into their swing. So he goes fastball away, fastball away. This is a breaking ball right here. Here comes the breaking ball. And Barry gets through the ball. Good use of the legs, good use of the hands, and hits it right in the gap. In right center at the gap.
Get down and actually, what you know what he was saying there? Don't go over the fence for a ground rule double at that point, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're right back in the ballgame. That's why I say the strikeout to Leyrit's last inning, the biggest out of the game. And of course the walk to Burks.
Yep.
Big walk.
And now here's Bonds at second, and a little bloop by Kent could make it a 4-3 game as the Padres huddle on the mound. Actually, Dave Stewart is out there. I'm anxious to see him turn around and give a glare. Wait a minute. Not at Hitchcock. Where's the umpire? Mellowed Stu, huh? I mean, that Stewart glare was a classic when he pitched.
I'll tell you something. The ball to Barry Bonds was probably up.
There was the look. There it was. You knew Stu was going to look at Holbrook at some point in that visit.
But you got Barry Bonds up there who walks 130, 40 times a year. Got a great eye. And the ball was probably up, consistent with the way the Holbrooks called it all night long.
I'm talking about the other ones.
Yeah, not the left.
Yeah. So here's Jeff Kent, who walked and then struck out. 4-2 now. Giants know the Cubs have won. They beat Pittsburgh. Giants know the Mets have won. They beat Philadelphia. So if they lose, they'd be 2 back. If they win, they stay 1 back. Both Cubs and Mets play tomorrow. Giants have a day off. So that's the standings up to the moment. Outside corner for Hitchcock, and a kind of a derisive cheer from the fans. It's 1-1. Bonds, the runner would say, hey, you can't sing that. Is that outside?
Might have been outside too.
Well, no one's happy tonight at the plate. We are happy to bring it to you. Chopper, and now Hitchcock is ahead 1-2. Giants had bases loaded in the first, didn't score any. Padres had the bases loaded in the last half inning, didn't score any, so that's evened out.
Don't be surprised if Barry Bonds, even though they're down 2, Hitchcock doesn't pay attention. He'll take off and steal third.
2 out.
Yep. You give it to him.
Sharp hit to left field in front of Greg Vaughn. Bonds will be waved home. It's a 1-run game. 4-3. The Giants have cut it to 1. Sharp hit by Jeff Kent.
That's what's so great about baseball, Major League Baseball. I mean, matter of inches. This ball's down. Pretty good pitch. Split-fingered fastball. Now Jeff Kent goes down, uses the legs to get through that ball and drive it for a line drive into left field. With Bond's speed, you know he's going to score with 2 outs. 1-run game. Oh, they were so close last inning.
Donnie Wall's done a good job for the Padres this year, is up and throwing, and here is Charlie Hayes as they keep an eye on Kent to see if he was napping. Hayes 0 for 1 on a walk tonight.
That's why I say, though, Chris, when you're down 4 runs, Dusty making that move to bring Corey Bailey in with 2 outs, bases loaded, biggest out of the game. He knew if he gets you out, 4 runs, the Giants can come back, and they have.
And he got the call by about an inch, didn't he?
Not too much more than that.
Because if that was a ball, then it's 5-0.
That's right.
Hayes, a ground ball to second. This should end the inning. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about going to bed in the East and the Central time zones and you like your baseball, think again. It's a 1-run game as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
If you're hunting for big screen thrills,
You recognize this man?
check out what's playing this month on DirecTV. The Letterbox feature presentation of U.S. Marshals. Now there's nowhere to hide.
What do you intend to do?
Got you.
Because with the widescreen version, you get the whole picture.
I did not do what they said I did.
Just the way the filmmakers intended. Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley Snipes, Robert Downey Jr. star in our DirecTV Letterbox feature presentation. U.S. Marshals, playing this month on DirecTV.
DirecTV is proud to unveil Seed, the magazine for satellite TV. Call 1-800.
And you think about the strikeout that was not, that Brian Johnson got the first base on.
And ironically, it was Jimmy Leyritz who missed the pitch on the split in the dirt, and he had struck out the inning before on a pitch that he thought was ball 4. So maybe he wasn't quite into that at bat, and it might cost him the ball game as it turns out.
Danny Darwin is not going to dazzle you with heat. He is going to try to get location. He's like a real estate agent. Location, location, location. As he starts against Wally Joyner. The second group of numbers, and maybe we can get that back up there for a moment, where you saw many more hits than innings pitched allowed by Darwin, which is not normally a good sign. I mean, you know, it's not a great sign no matter what kind of pitcher you are, but Darwin, 172 hits in 145 and a third. Now, that's not very impressive, but he's gutty, and he certainly understands the big picture out there, Kevin, and that's what he gives the Giants. Now, Danny is one of the grizzled vets and has been having trouble in night games with his eyesight. And he didn't want to wear glasses. And you notice the tape on the fingers there by Brian Johnson. We'll show you that in a moment. Well, he saw that one, and Darwin throws over to Joe Carter, and there's one out. That's to help him see the sign.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's why Brian Johnson has the tape on all of his fingers. As you said, Danny will not wear glasses. Danny still has good movement. The sinker, slider, forkball, 81 miles an hour. A lot of movement. He'll get a three-quarter type delivery. He'll knock you off the plate. He'll pitch inside, and he is not afraid to hit a batter.
No.
No.
Well, what? His last year in Boston was 94. So, well, you know him.
Oh, yeah. Here's his slider right there, 79 miles an hour.
How about this? Danny came in the bigs in 1978. And he's still here in 1998. Danny will be 43 on October 25th. Ripped but gloved by Charlie Hayes. The throw over to Carter. And Ruben Rivera is out.
Now here's the movement. Feeder in motion. Charlie crossover steps, spears it, does a full 360, and throws a strike to Joe Carter at first base. Nice defensive play.
I mean, you almost look at the history of baseball here with Danny Darwin. He came up with Texas in '78. I mean, they had only just become the Rangers a few years before.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
They were still kind of, Senators fans were still rooting for the Texas Rangers at that point. Pitched there till '84, then a Brewers a couple of years, '85 and '86, when he went over to Houston, one of those pennant moves, and pitched for the Astros in a memorable National League Series. That Astros-Mets series in '86 was tremendous. He then pitched in Houston till 1990. Pitched 4 years with the Red Sox from '91 to '94. The Blue Jays, the Rangers again, the Pirates in '96, Houston, the White Sox, the Giants, second half of last year, and he got his chance to pitch in did not actually pitch in either of the postseason. Was on the roster, didn't pitch in '86, and did not get in for the Giants last year in their 3-series sweep at the hands of the Marlins. Ripped up the middle, base hit by Chris Gomez. So you just wonder, for a guy like Darwin, this is probably it for him. Will he have a chance to pitch in postseason? You never know.
You
right?
never know, because he eats up a lot of innings. He just goes out there, and that's a valuable guy on the staff, to have a guy go out there and pitch a lot of innings and do a lot of rolls for you. And he has a lot of movement on his pitches. That 3/4 breaking ball. He's at a 3/4 curveball, a little sinker, and like I said, he'll knock you off the plate if you dive on him. So who knows? He might be back next year.
Why am I spacing? What was your first year in Boston?
95.
That's what I thought. So he was not there when you were there. I thought so. But you know him.
No, but against him, yeah. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant.
Yep. And not afraid to hit a batter. That's the key. That was the key sentence there. Hitchcock bats for himself. Charlie Hayes to Joe Carter. Darwin comes in and does a good job. And we have played 5 here at the Big Q. 4-3 San Diego.
As part of our
Game as we approach the top of the 6th inning in San Diego. The Padres lead the Giants 4-3. If the Padres win, the Magic never down to 4 to win the NL West, which is pretty much at this point a foregone conclusion with the Giants. And the fans have had lots to cheer about here at San Diego all year long. It's been a marvelous, marvelous year for these Pods, who have had winning streaks of 8, 5, 11, 5, and 6. And this current 3-game losing streak, they've only had twice all year. It's been that sort of season here at San Diego. For those of us joining late, Tony Gwynn is out 7 to 10 days. He sprained or strained his thumb, his right thumb, which is the bottom of the power hand for the left-handed batter. But an MRI showed that it was not a break, which was first feared, which would have meant he was out for the year. So bad news, he's out 7 to 10 days. Good news is they're going to have him the last week and in the postseason. Joe Carter, who played a year here in San Diego. This coming back to the Giants is his first time back in the National League since that year with the Padres in 1990. Joe has been involved in some very, just the history of baseball. You look at some of the trades for Joe Carter. A long, there's Joe's numbers, and You talk about production with those 100 RBIs. Year after year after year. He came up with the Cubs a long, long time ago. And in 1984, and I'm mentioning this because he was traded from Cleveland to Cleveland from the Cubs, involved with this man, a trade that was immense for the Chicago Cubs, as Rick Sutcliffe went over from Cleveland in May that year and led the Cubs to the postseason. Postseason would end in this ballpark in Game 5, and a game Sutcliffe started, by the way, that Cubs-Padres series. Sut, one of the fine broadcasters working for the Padres here. And Joe later on traded out to San Diego in a trade that, I mean, you just like reading the history of baseball here. That trade had Sandy Alomar go to Cleveland. Then he went to Toronto in the trade that sent he and Robbie Alomar to Toronto for Fred McGriff and Tony Fernandez. I mean, you remember every one of those trades, Kevin, don't you? Meanwhile, while we're talking about his litany, he pops up to second base, and there's one out. Well, ESPN magazine. You think it might have something to do with Mark McGwire? I think so. Sal Durante is the one that caught Roger Maris' 61st home run at Yankee Stadium. Not Jimmy Durante, but Sal Durante. And the most memorable home runs in baseball. I saw a lot of those on ESPN last night. And of course, Joe Carter hit one of them, didn't he?
Did Sal give it back?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Maris was quite laudatory. Said the kid didn't want anything for it. You know, he's getting married. He could really set himself up. I read a quote just the other day. Maris said, "This is proof that there are a lot of good people in the world. This young kid wanted to give it back to me." I mean, it's 1961. Then right back to the issue at hand. I'm trying to get off on the Carter tangent, but I mean, those are some of those trades. You remember every one of them, don't you, Kevin?
Absolutely.
Sutcliffe trade was huge.
Traded it.
Sandy Alomar, Robbie Alomar, the McGriff trade. I mean, those things are huge.
Well, how about Robbie Alomar and Joe Carter?
For McGriff and Fernandez.
Yeah, that's a pretty good Padre club too. Back in '92 when Tony Fernandez was here.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Sheffield, Freddie McGriff. Padres have had some good players over the years.
Skied by Aurelia, who has some pop, but he gets under this. Will it stay in? Three Padres converge, and they want you to go 6 rows in. Caminiti running hard, and that's not what they needed.
Monty's going to protect him. He'll run through the wall. Looking at his left wrist. He's had all kinds of injuries, not only to his legs, but he's had wrist problems this year as well.
Look at this.
Well, that's just Caminiti. Talked about earlier about him going full bore. When he's in the lineup, it doesn't matter if he's been hurt or not, or is 80% or 90%. He's going to go full bore.
It looked good running there, by the way. Remember, he gimped in running from third base that time, but he looked good there, Kevin. Count is 1-2. So Aurelia reaches out, was fooled by that pitch. Just gets his bat on it, and a play made. Ron Wotus, the third base coach. Carlos Alfonso, coach at first for the Giants. Love the Padres third base coach, Tim Flannery, one of our favorites. Has that little gray beard going. He's in a rock and roll grunge look. Davey Lopes, the first base coach for the Padres, who there's look at Flans, one of the old rockers here. He's great. I love talking to Flans. Swung on and missed, and Aurelia's going to run it, but this time Laritz is there. Flannery was in the yard when Sutcliffe started for the Cubs in Game 5 of that NLCS. What an NLCS that was in '84.
Long-time Padre, Tim Flannery. Third base coach now.
Look at that gray stubble, though.
He writes his own music.
Definitely surfer dude. Kind of. Well, Sutcliffe he's still working. He's still trying to get Flannery out.
It's not gray yet, though, so he's not on the field.
That's right.
Even coaches start to get gray.
Davey Lopes. Well, you got to wonder when his day will come to manage. I mean, that's got to be soon, Kevin. Swinging through it is Brian Johnson.
There's a lot of good guys out there. I mean, I think for a lot of guys that you do have to manage somewhere. And Davey managed some in the Arizona Fall League, I think, a couple of years ago. Of course, that's where Dusty Baker came out of.
Boy, this Johnson fishing here.
Hitchcock's got his split going this inning. And that's what that pitch is. That's not a curveball. That's a split-fingered fastball that looks like he cuts it into the right-handers, but it's a split finger. A lot of times, split-fingered fastballs from lefties, you'll see him go down and away, but his looks like it's coming down and in. That's what it is. It's a split finger.
Well, Hitchcock a 1-2-3 inning, so he answers what Darwin did. Danny will go out to pitch again because the pitcher spot was due up next. A due up next for San Diego, the man that started it off with a homer, Steve Finley.
A snowflake falls at the far end of history. And that snowflake, we'll call him Steve, winds up as part of a droplet of water. And one day, that droplet, Steve's droplet, could wind up in a brewery where a man you'll never meet discovers the perfect temperature to frost-brew beer. And like that, Steve is in a Coors Light can, and then a tray, and a cup. And now, he's here with you. So I ask you, gentle stranger, do not spill, Steve. Coors Light!
We asked the Hartford Wolfpack to try the Norelco reflex action for 21 days.
San Francisco has come back and won 43 times this year. By comparison, the Padres, who are runaway leaders in the West, have come from behind to win only 28 times. Well, one thing is they've had more leads, so in a way, Kevin, that can be somewhat misleading. 43 seems like a pretty big number to me, and here's a ground ball that's handled by Kent, 1 out. Our in-game box score here from San Diego. Finley led off the game with a homer. Greg Vaughn had a 2-run home run. Leyritz had an RBI on a ground out. So pretty much a hit from, well, 2/3 of their lineup. Total is 6 hits. Hit well to center field by Andy Sheets, but Stan Javier is there, and there are 2 outs. 43 is a pretty big number.
I was going to mention that I think the main reason is because their bullpen is #1 in the major leagues. And that'll allow you to come back in games. That's why I said earlier, that Leyritz strikeout with the bases loaded in the 4th when they were up 4-0 with 2 outs instead of ball 4, strike 3, big turning point in the game. The Giants come back. Now it's a 1-run game, and the Giants come into their strength, which is their bullpen, particularly Robbie Nen. Obviously, if they get a lead, but Rich Rodriguez, the lefty's done a nice job. Jose Mesa's come on a little stronger now.
Guy on the left in that shot was John Johnstone, who has had a big season for the Giants.
Right.
He's one of their key setup guys. And now Darwin in the pen, and he certainly knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. Sinker, slider, curveball, forkball.
You know, for the first couple of months of the season, Kevin, and I'm talking into June, their bullpen ERA was more like 2 or 1.9. I mean, it was that good.
Well, when you have a good bullpen like that, 6th inning on, the close ball games, you'll win because your bullpen will put zeros up there and keep you right there.
Against the righty Darwin, Caminiti batting from the left side where he has more power, but it makes no difference there. Cammy has walked twice and now struck out twice. We have played 6 here at the Murph. 4-3 San Diego.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring. It's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
Hello, Mr. Coors.
Excuse me. We drove off and left our beer. And you've been guarding it for us? Right?
There's only one Mile High taste. Coors, the original.
Finder's fee?
Go
those strikes. I couldn't agree more.
Range Rover, the most advanced 4x4 in the world.
Well, good game between the two teams trying to represent the National League West in the postseason, and Giants have come from behind a lot. I mean, the Padres never been swept all year in a series at home. They can't let that happen, can they?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, if the Giant bullpen does what it's capable of doing and what's been doing all year, Giants will come back. And Barry Bonds is in the lineup. Big two-run double.
Even as good a season as you are having, a team like the Padres are having, Kevin, you're going to go in some lulls, and they're clearly in one a little bit now the last 7 or 10 days.
Yeah, that's going to happen. They've had some injuries. Andy Ashby, one of their starting pitchers, has had some struggles the last 4 starts. Kevin Brown's been leading them, and they're having a little tough time right now, mainly with their pitching and a few injuries. And, of course, Tony Gwynn's out of the lineup.
Well, Sterling Hitchcock has struck out 7 tonight. Yeah, he just kind of gave up all those runs with 2 outs in the 5th inning when the Giants got their 3 spot. But Hitchcock has just given up the 3 hits. And now here's the pitcher spot up, the number 9 spot, and Marvin Bernard, who has been the leadoff hitter and right fielder ever since Darrell Hamilton was traded for Ellis Burks. And he has excelled. Bernard, 4 for 4 last night, including a leadoff home run. Bernard with 5 hits in the series, and a
keep me off of it.
In the 8th inning on a double by Ellis Burks.
And if you're wondering why a lefty against a lefty here, it's because of what we talked about last inning. This takes the split-fingered fastball away. That's Sterling Hitchcock's best pitch. Dusty just saw his right-handers, Aurelia and Brian Johnson, strike out last inning on the split. So he's trying to take that pitch away from Sterling Hitchcock. It's a curveball.
Did he go? No, says Jerry Lane at third base.
Bernard also works the count pretty well. His walk-to-strikeout ratio is good. On-base percentage at .386. So a good guy to lead off the inning here that has some speed as well. But mainly, Dusty's trying to take that split finger away because that's been the out pitch for Sterling Hitchcock tonight, as it was against the Expos when he struck out 15 on the 29th of August.
Pitch is in there for a strike. Outside corner, 2-2 to Marvin Bernard, who until he was 12 years old lived in Nicaragua. So not your normal background for a major league ball player, to say the very, very least. Stays alive there.
See, so far in this at bat, Hitchcock has not thrown the split. It's been fastball, curveball.
Actually, another note on Marvin, which I enjoy talking about, and since it's pinch hit, I better get it in here. After he moved to the States at 12, he played his college ball at Lewis and Clark College up in Idaho. And for a guy that began in Nicaragua and finds himself in the major leagues, that's a perfect college because he certainly has been an explorer. However, he goes down on this expedition as Hitchcock strikes him out for strikeout number 8.
With what looked like a slider. Outside corner, Larrett sits outside. Good pitch, good location. It was strike 3. So he didn't need the split finger against Bernard.
And Bruce Bochy has made a move. He wants Dusty to start using folks. He will bring in Donnie Wall. And Sterling Hitchcock leads, can stand only to win it, cannot lose it. He gets a good round of applause here from the home folk at the Murph. Donnie Wall is in as the new pitcher, and Stan Javier immediately drives it to center field, but Steve Finley is there. Javier gave it a ride, but 1 pitch and 1 out for the relief pitcher, Donnie Wall. Moments ago, a good round of applause. Hitchcock, the tip of the cap. Hey, if Bruce Bochy's going with 3 pitchers in the postseason, you assume Ashby will work his troubles out. And there's Hitchcock on the bench. It's Brown, Ashby, and you go Hitchcock, you go Joey Hamilton, you go, well, it won't be Mark Langston. He'll work in the pen. By the way, he'll be ready.
He's in the pen tonight, yeah.
I mean, that's a decision that Bochy's looking at. But right now he's worrying about Donnie Wall. And over the leaping Andy Sheets is his shot by Ellis Burks. So Burks on first with 2 outs, and here comes Barry Bonds. Wall has had a good year. The ERA of 2.51 is 5-3 out of the pen. His 64 innings pitch, giving up only 44 hits. Well, now, 45 hits. He's been a valuable setup man along with Maselli to Trevor Hoffman, who's been almost automatic. Padres haven't lost a game they've led after 8 innings in 2 years. So the Giants ought to think about something in this inning or the next inning.
You don't want to get to Trevor Hoffman in the 9th. And Trevor will also, he'll go for a 4-out save. Bruce Bochy will. So he'll bring Trevor in the 8th if there's trouble.
Well, here's trouble at the plate. Bonds looks at a pitch off the plate. 1-1. Barry, 2 runs double, got the Giants back in it in the 5th inning. And then Kent followed with a obviously 2-out single.
Well, it's Burks with 10 stolen bases, been caught 8 times. But I think you got to let Barry Bonds swing the bat here. Get thrown out here trying to steal.
Pulled it back a little bit on him. And Bonds went fishing a little bit. It's 1-2 to Barry.
Yeah, pretty good arm action. A split-fingered fastball. Dave Stewart has taught that pitch to just about everybody on this staff.
Starting with Kevin Brown.
Starting with Kevin Brown. 2-seam drip right there. You saw. 2-seam fastball has a lot of tail to it going away from the lefties. Velocity won't be as high as a 4-seam power fastball, but Donnie Wall still throws in the low 90s. Well, nobody had a better split tonight than Sterling Hitchcock. He was outstanding. Very, very good location tonight.
Gets him on the inside pitch. Inside strikes have been, Sam Holbrook has called them all night long from both sides of the plate. And a big pitch for Donnie Wall. Bonds is gone, so are the Giants. 4-3 Pods at 7th inning stretch time.
We asked Jim Yates, NHRA Winston Pro Stock champion, why he chose split-fire spark plugs.
The legendary split-fire Performance V Advantage. Because performance is everything.
Did you make a difference today? What if you did? How would it make you feel? Bank of America. Put the future in motion.
Since you and my little girl are moving away, there's one thing you need to know. 10-10-3-2-1.
You think she'll call her mother a lot?
Yes, and hopefully her father, too. But you'll be glad that 10-10-3-2-1 saves you big time on your phone bill.
Will they talk long?
That's the beauty part. It doesn't matter. 10-10-3-2-1 saves you 50% on every call over 20 minutes.
50%? That's big.
That's huge. So those half-hour talks with her mom are going to cost you a lot less.
Dad, are you giving away the family secrets?
I gave him the best one I have.
Dial 10-10-3-2-1 to save.
What's this stuff? Yuck!
His pitcher is Julian Tavares. Main setup man. Now that he's back and healthy for Rob Nen. And Tavares will try and keep the Padres at bay. Vaughn, Laritz, and Joyner, the meat of the order.
This will be the 54th appearance for Tavares. He's had a lot of success against the right-handed hitters and a lot of trouble against the lefties. Lefties hit 344 off him this year. Right-handers only 265. And that's because of the fastball and slider going away to the righties.
Yeah, Barry Bonds in left field taking that at bat with him a little bit.
I don't think he's disagreeing with the pitch. It was a good call.
No, he's upset at himself by that body language.
Yeah.
That's how I would read it, Kevin.
Fastball he could have turned on.
Well, here's a guy that turned on homer number 48 earlier tonight. Greg Vaughn. We told you if he inches to 50, he's got 2 more to go. Never before have we had 3 50 home run guys in one season.
Little slider right there. Greg got way out in front of. Well, I think he's going to get his 50.
Oh, yeah.
He's locked in.
Inside. 2-1.
And pretty good movement. 92 fastball that ran in and off the corner of the plate for the ball. Good velocity, good movement.
No question that Tavares can move the ball.
That looked like a split finger fastball, 86 miles an hour. Bottom dropped out of it. Fastball away sign.
Vaughn knew it. Vaughn just was looking for a different pitch, and Tavares has struck Greg Vaughn out. 1 out.
Fastball outside corner with movement. Had a little tail, ran back in across the outside corner. Brian Johnson sat way off the base. Good pitch. Not much you can do with that pitch. And I know Ron Perranoski teaches that because he was a sinker ball pitcher. He teaches guys to throw off the corner and have it run back in on the outside corner.
Leyritz showing bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike.
Where hitters will give up on it, think it's a ball outside, then it'll run back in 3 or 4 inches and hit that outside corner. And that's something that Ron Perranoski taught with the Dodgers, taught Oral Hershiser. It's something he teaches now with all the Giant pitchers. Well, don't say anything. You can look up.
Well, if he rings McGuire up, he'll ring Leyritz up. I think that's sure.
I think so. Don't turn around, Jimmy. Good pitch. Same pitch I was talking about that Perranoski teaches. Tavares nails it again. Looks like a ball on the outside corner. Runs in on the black. Ronnie Perranoski, he's smiling. See, he's nodding. I know this man very well. He teaches this. Watch it. Inside corner. Good pitch. Movement. Hit the inside corner from the black. Now watch this. Outside corner. Yeah, we didn't. Look at that pitch. movement.
Just missed to Wally Joyner, that one.
But the one to Leyritz, that last pitch, outside corner. Johnson sitting about 3 or 4 inches outside. Looks like a ball, and it runs back and catches the black of the plate for strikeout looking.
Brian is able to take the tape off his fingers now that Darwin is out. But I think he may want to have it on his palm.
I think he still had it on, though.
Yeah. Maybe he moved it to his palm because Tavares has a little more pop than Danny.
Yeah.
Darwin did a heck of a job in there.
That one with a wiggle means sinker.
Here's a strike. 1-2. Tavares 1 pitch away from striking out the side here in the 7th. Vaughn, Leyritz, and Joyner, pretty fair hitters. Wally back for the first time after missing 7 games. Well, didn't get Joyner there. Bonds on his horse makes the catch. Boy, Barry saw it right off the bat. Joyner plugged it, but Bonds was there to make the play. We head to the 8th inning. 4-3 Padres.
It's impossible to keep the ocean from the shore. It's just impossible. Ask a baby not to cry. It's just impossible. Or
he's hit that plated the 3rd Giant run. All 3 of those runs, by the way, off Sterling Hitchcock were unearned, as one batter reached Brian Johnson did on a strikeout, but an error to the catcher. As the ball got past Leyritz, and Joyner bobbled the throw. 1 up, 1 down for Donnie Wall, as Gomez played a good game at short tonight, handles that play, and Kent is gone. This pitching summary brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Wallpaper Stores. Sean Estes, not the outing the Giants were looking for from him. 2 straight outings in which they're looking for a shot in the arm, but the All-Star from a year ago did not provide it. Sterling Hitchcock did pitch very well. You see no earned runs and 8 strikeouts, Kevin.
The only thing that Sean Estes got tonight was a good workout. 90 pitches is exactly what Dusty Baker wanted, but they're still in the ball game. It's a 4-3 ball game. Sean will have his 3rd start since he been off the disabled list 4 days from now, so hopefully for the Giants' sake he gets back to form. Sterling Hitchcock, outstanding split finger fastball tonight.
Walking 2 infield groundouts to Hayes. Oh, Caminiti is there guarding the line with that strong throw to first. Ken Caminiti, a Gold Glover at third, just showed you why.
Well, Cammy's shading the line here in the 8th inning. No doubles in this situation. A 1-run game. You see him go crossover right there. He's got such a strong arm. And there it is, a strike to Wally Joyner. And Randy Myers also up in the bullpen behind Donnie Wall.
Just in case, but it's not as if he's going to supplant Trevor Hoffman as the closer here. Randall K. Myers, one of our favorites. His hometown, Vancouver, Washington. Also home of Mount St. Helens. It helps explain Randy a little bit.
I heard you tell him that the day before the game. He liked that.
He loves that every time I see him. Mount St. Helens, Randy.
I saw a pretty good Donnie Wall curveball to Joe Carter. Another one.
1-2 to Joe Carter. His namesake, President Jimmy Carter, was here yesterday throughout the first pitch. So I said, only Sergeant Carter, we get the president here yesterday. Looked good, President Carter did. Looked very good. Ripped by Joe Carter down the left field line. Vaughn is there to cut it off. Carter will dig for 2, and this is going to be close. No, it isn't. I lied. Double for Joe Carter with 2 outs.
3 curveballs in a row from Donnie Wall. This one hung up there a little bit, and Joe Carter was able to hook it into the corner for a 2-out double. Here's a pitch, curveball. Good swing, gets through that ball. He's taking double all the way, knowing the situation. Down 1 run in the 8th. Greg Vaughn's throw just a little bit late.
Pitching coach Dave Stewart getting Trevor Hoffman get the chalk going, get the seeds.
Well, I mentioned he'll go for a 4-out save. Bruce Focci will use Trevor Hoffman for a 4-out save.
That was a quick fill-up, wasn't it? Rich Aurelia, who has some pop, although tonight is 0 for 3, and he's really been scuffling. He has 8 home runs, which for a shortstop is, it's pretty good. I know in this day and age of A-Rod and Derek Jeter and Garcia Perez, it's not good, but there are a lot of clubs that could use a shortstop.
Those guys are another class.
Yes, they are.
3 of the best that have come into the game in a long time. But there's still some solid defensive shortstops. And we saw Chris Gomez tonight. He's played extremely well for the Padres.
Richie's, though, has been struggling. He had a lot of pop early in the season. The last 3-4 weeks, he has not swung the bat very well. And he looks at a strike there, and he's now down to 1-2 against Donnie Wall. Giants know that the Mets have won and the Cubs have won, which means if they lose tonight, they will fall 2 back. Saturday night, they were 4 back. They picked up 3 games in 3 days, but could lose 1 tonight. And there's only 2.5 weeks left in the season, of course. Outside, Carter not going anywhere. Carlos Hernandez has come in the game now to catch Will Bat in Leyritz's spot. The 5th spot. Carlos, the regular catcher here with the Padres.
We just saw why he's in for defense. One of the best guys in the game at blocking balls, keeping them in front. Goes off to the side a little bit, but Carlos has very, very quick feet. Grew up playing soccer in Venezuela. That's why his feet are so quick. Very solid defensive catcher.
2-2 pitches ripped down the line. Oh, Caminiti stops it, and he stops the Giants from tying the game. It's a play that sometimes he makes, but make no mistake about it, it's a tie ball game if he doesn't get there. Base hit to Aurelia.
Once again, Cammy shading the line. This is a curveball from Donnie Wall, left inside. Aurelia turns on it. Caminiti backhands it, gets it off the heel of the glove, and just has to smother it. Has no play, but he does save the run.
A sharply hit ball by Aurelia, and a fine play by Caminiti, who's made 2 this inning.
Now Hernandez has gone out to take a little time here.
Well, we got a pinch hitter because the regular third baseman for the Giants, Bill Miller.
For the catcher Johnson.
Miller actually is a switch hitter, but he's got
Bill Miller.
As most do, a little more pop from the left side of the plate. So Miller will bat for Brian Johnson, and let's see what Bochy's going to do.
Well, he got Hoffman up a little bit late with 2 outs after the Joe Carter double, but he's going to him.
As they play the Hotel California, the wheels are spinning here on the West Coast.
My idea,
Best Buy should have Bill Gates be their spokesman.
Howdy, I'm big. 50 saves in one season, Trevor Hoffman.
We talked about Bruce Bochy using Hoffman for a 4-out save. The only thing is, in this inning, he got him up a little bit late. He didn't have him up until Joe Carter hit the 2-out double. But Trevor gets ready quickly. Got a good fastball, 92, 93 miles an hour. Good overhand curveball, but his real out pitch, a changeup. Outstanding changeup. He'll double it up. He'll throw it 3 times in a row. It's about 75 miles an hour, 76. Looks like a fastball. The hitters get way out in front of it.
Very quickly, a double switch. Hoffman will bat in Joyner's spot, the 6th spot, and Mark Sweeney will hit in the 9th spot. So Joyner out, and I got to think you fall off a little bit defensively at first. But Trevor Hoffman has been almost automatic this year. He'll face Bill Miller, the pinch hitter for Brian Johnson. Way ahead of that one. Here's the pitch you described, Kevin. Strike one.
Changeup. I mean, it looks like a fastball. He's got such great arm speed on that ball, and the way he chokes it back in his hand, the hitters can't read the pitch. It looks like a fastball. They get way out in front. 78 miles an hour. It's about 15, 16 miles an hour slower than his fastball. That's why they get out in front of him.
Center field. Straight away is Finley. And Hoffman has retired Miller, and Giants strand 2. We head to the 9th. With the Padres leading, we head to the bottom of the 8th. The Padres leading 4-3.
Of GoldenEye, Kobe Bryant in NBA courtside for WCW versus NWO, or Diddy Kong Racing for new additions to the Player's Choice Library for just $39.95. Don't miss it.
Are rich people taller than the rest of us? Are their loved ones more deserving of an airbag? Was the sun created solely for their enjoyment? Are we the only car company that...
For those of you just tuning in, welcome to the Hotel California. Padres 4, Giants 3, bottom of the 8th. Rivera, Gomez, and now Mark Sweeney, 7-8-9 to hit against Julian Tavares. Looking ahead of the Giants 9th. It'll be a pinch hitter in the pitcher's spot. And then 2-3, which means, 1-2, which means Barry Bonds would be due up 4th.
Which means, unless the Padres score, he's got a chance to win the game.
If he gets up, he would.
Brett Maine now behind the plate for San Francisco, with Bill Miller pinch hitting for Brian Johnson.
Count is 2-1 on Ruben Rivera, who came here, of course, in the much ballyhooed Wabu mess, which it was at the time with the Yankees, right? I wouldn't give him up for Randy Johnson. He was the guy that the Padres, that the Mariners wanted. Not just him, but he had to be included. Kevin Towers, general manager, said no. Randy hasn't done anything in Houston.
No.
This game is important to the Padres as well tonight, because home field for the first time will be based on your regular season record of the division leaders. Here you go. I mean, Houston, Atlanta, San Diego, they were to start right now. The Astros would have home field advantage in the National League playoffs. And that means that Randy Johnson will pitch any game 1 in the opening series, where he's, what, pitched 4 shutouts?
And if it goes 5 games, I mean, he pitches twice.
At home.
The opening round. Shane Reynolds. I mean,
it's a good squad there. Meanwhile, Rivera is walked by Tavares, and that'll bring up Chris Gomez. Gomez in an obvious bunting situation because Sweeney is hitting a 9.
I think Bruce will definitely bunt in this situation. So does Charlie Hayes.
Yeah, Charlie is 3 steps in on the grass, and Tavares isn't even in the stretch yet. No, he is. Ooh. Little Chinsky. No, I know you can't smell this at home, but how come I smell a skunk?
It's exactly what it is. I don't know.
Looking around like we're in the ballpark.
Somebody's got one here somewhere. That fastball run up and in almost had Gomez in the dome. But Mann able to keep it from going to the backstop.
Rivera can certainly run. No question about that. Ruben. There's 4 stolen bases, but he can move.
Well, up a run, you don't have a whole lot to lose by switching to a hit and run as long as Taveras is around the plate. Charlie Hayes.
Now he's 5 steps in.
It's going to be about 45 feet from home plate.
He's about to autograph Gomez's bat is what he's about to do.
But Gomez uses the field. I don't know if he can turn on a Taveras 92, 93 fastball. See how Bochy plays it. He'll probably play it safe with Sweeney on deck and Finley to follow. Get the bunt down.
There goes the runner. That one is fouled back off the paraphernalia. Now, you know what? I mean, you know, at home you're saying, who cares, guys? We can't. There was actually a skunk.
Yeah, it really was.
Now, how does that happen?
I don't know, but it was very apparent in the ballpark.
Would you like that in plastic or in paper, sir?
Wow. Well, that was a bunt and run, that last play. Rivera was running, as you mentioned, Chris.
I don't think that's a skunk. How did they get in there?
Skunk him. I don't know.
He skunked him.
Somebody brought him a
loud and wing right to third.
Picnic basket or what?
Dead skunk in the middle of the road. He's stinking to high heaven. Remember that. Meanwhile, 1-1 pitch, and Gomez has frankly stunk in 2 bunt attempts. It's now 1-2. He'll have to swing. Well, not necessarily. He might still try it again. That's number 8 hitter, shorts. They should be able to get one down.
Well, Taveras is tough to bunt off of because he's got such great movement and great velocity. 92, 93 with a lot of movement. Tries to keep the barrel above the hands, but does not. You saw the barrel dip a little bit below the hands, and that's why he fouled that ball off. You got to keep the barrel above the hands and go down with your legs to bunt that ball. She smelled it.
She may be reacting to Gomez's attempt. Pitch out, and let me tell you something. That pitch out was almost inside of where Maine was.
And not only that, you see the velocity 81. You can't let up when you throw a pitch out. You got to throw it just as hard. He's throwing 91, 92 on the pitch out. Only 81 miles an hour.
Almost a disaster.
Yeah, Chris likes that ball up and out over the plate. Like I said earlier, he uses the field. He likes to go to right center.
Fouled off. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Taveras completely missed location. That's why they tried to go inside, because Gomez likes to go to right field. But location was missed. The ball was outside.
Ferris's job is to keep this a 1-run game, and then his spot comes up.
2-2. Chris, this is a great running count with a sinker ball pitcher. Put a man in motion right here. He was going. A jab step by Rivera. Gave it away. That's why Taveras threw over to first base. He was definitely going to go at Taveras down at plate. And I think he should go again. You don't want to pitch out in this situation and go to a 3-2 count. I think you should send him.
Fouled off. We'll do it again. Jose Mesa on the right. Rich Rodriguez, the lefty, up in the Giants' pen. Imagine we'll see J.T. Snow to pinch hit for Taveras, or whoever the pitcher is at that point to lead off the inning. Snow, a better lefty hitter, certainly for power.
Well, Rios has done a nice job. A couple of pinch hit home runs in Los Angeles. Left-hand hitter come up from the minor leagues.
Good play by Brent Mean to smother it, and it's 3-2.
Well, now he definitely's got to run. It's a no-brainer now. Got nothing to lose. You're up a run. Open up a hole out there. Turn it into a run and hit play. If it's a ball, you got first and second. If it's a strike, Gomez has to make contact, shorten his swing, and at least get the runner to second base. So run and hit play. Not hit and run.
We'll do it again.
And he should be running again.
From 2 poor bunt attempts, it's becoming a classic and a classic at bat. Got the skunk out of here, and Gomez settled right down. Sports Center coming up next. The Maureen McGovern singing The Morning After.
I remember
Well,
that one.
Mark
I remember
Squire.
that one.
Rich Eisen, Stuart Scott. They're enjoying this game as you are at home. We missed Stu on primetime this year. Cut down to a 45-minute show. Tommy and I just got to go. But Stu, we love you.
Well,
You too,
Rivera's job right here is not to get picked off. He should be in motion. It's up to the hitter to make contact or take ball 4. So he should not worry about getting a huge jump. Just make sure the pitcher throws to home plate. Responsibility is on the hitter right now.
To the plate and just missed with a. Oh, look at Tavares. He's thrown out of the game. Oh, my God. I haven't seen this in a long time. Look out, Julian. Don't bump him. Oh, my goodness. This is reminiscent of Andujar in that 7th game. Look at this.
Yeah, I have not seen this in an awful long time. Not that kind of a reaction in this game. It's a big game for the Giants, no doubt.
I was just
He's just gone. He's out of control.
Wow. There's really no call for that.
No.
That's.
I think Sam Holbrook's been pretty consistent all night long with his strike zone.
Doesn't matter.
See where that's what I mean. Okay, there's that sinker that we talked about, runs back over the outside corner. That's a ball. That's ball 4. It's about 4 inches outside. That's a ball. Good call by Holbrook. Home plate umpire. No excuse for that from Tavares. A pretty good movement. He missed location by about 4 inches.
Did he hit it? It was close. Did he accidentally brush him?
It was close.
If he did, he's facing a suspension. Well, Tavares is gone in more ways than one. Rich Rodriguez coming in. Wow.
I know, it's just not fair. You get a little old.
Look at how close he comes. Let's see.
He might be okay. He might be okay. Kind of stuck his chest out. He might be okay. Depends on how. Of course, everybody's going to see this on SportsCenter, and it's pretty easy these days for the commissioner and the league presidents to decide whether he was bumped or not.
Well, meanwhile, let's get to the situation now. Rich Rodriguez, who's done a fine job and won 4 games and has many decisions, left-handed setup out of the pen, has his hands full. Rivera and Gomez are on courtesy of walks after Tavares was nothing short of brilliant in the 8th inning. Mark Sweeney, a very good left-handed power hitter. This is a move that Tavares is probably, by the way, out of the game no matter what happened on that pitch. Is my thought that Rodriguez was coming in to face Sweeney anyway.
I think so, with 2 men on. Absolutely. Otherwise, Sweeney's swinging the bat. Right here, we don't know if he's swinging the bat or bunting. Giants are playing it safe for the bunt.
Well, 1 run more for Trevor Hoffman is a godsend. Sweeney showing bunt. Carter charging. Pulled it back, but it was a strike.
But you're absolutely right. If Tavares is in there, Sweeney's swinging the bat, so Dusty has to make this,
move was going to be made anyway.
Right.
Maybe Tavares knew that. He figured, well, I might as well go out with my guns blazing.
Probably. And I was watching Rivera. Rivera was supposed to go on the pitch, and the move to the plate by Tavares froze Rivera. But it didn't matter with ball 4.
Hey, Steve, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?